as volunteers in that environment, we are challenged. You are putting your life at risk. When that incident happened, it was the first time I'd been out working my search dog. We got an early morning call to help with a missing walker, missing overnight. We were tasked to start searching on the hill. The snow was very deep in parts, it was hard going. And then we came across a huge avalanche, absolutely massive avalanche. And that was the first time I'd seen an avalanche. I saw my dog working across, and then she stopped and started scrabbling in the snow and digging in the snow, and when she came back and indicated and led me there, I realised that she'd found what looked like a glove lying in the snow. But when I put my hand on that, there was clearly a hand inside the glove, and at that point we realised we'd found the missing person. The casualty had been evacuated by helicopter down to a doctor. So as we were coming off the hill, we realised that the casualty had in fact lost their life. But a lot of things didn't really occur to me at that time. You were so involved in that incident. There's a lot of mix. You've obviously got a sadness at the outcome, and then the other side of it is that the sort of excitement and exhilaration of your dog having made a find. We train for 2 to 3 years to get our dogs to that point. And I suppose after that, everything was quite busy. I went home and then tried to, explain the situation to the family, but again, they weren't there. So you're trying to describe something that they couldn't really get their heads around. And I suppose I was taken by surprise a little bit that night when I woke up in the middle of the night and the duvet was over my head, and I imagined I was actually getting buried in the snow. It was almost like a nightmare reliving. And I suppose that was the first thing that then just struck me as like, wow, this is something different that I've never experienced. And then the next day, I was trying to deal with that, but also then started realizing I was having a lot of thoughts about, did we do the right thing? Was the person alive at the time? Could we have done more? Getting reassurance from one of my teammates that there was actually nothing more we could have done. What I had done on the day was the best I could have done, made a huge difference. But the one thing I couldn't get rid of from that was the mix of images that were in the head and the surprise. No one had ever told us about these sort of things. I didn't realise these were normal reactions to an event like that. The sleep challenges, perhaps the guilt, some of the physical things, your body and muscles and headaches and stomach upsets. They're your body's natural responses to either fight or flight, and there are things that you can do to help that. And that was really useful, and it was very helpful. Subsequently, on another occasion, I was out working on my own, and so there is a higher risk that you will come across something unexpected. And so that image will always be with you, and you then have to deal with that. But it helped that I knew what to expect. It helped that I was able to speak about it. And it didn't matter that the people I spoke to hadn't been involved. They were just there to listen, and that made a big difference. We have to deal with quite a number of traumatic events. Looking back over the years, what I've realised is that just because a particular incident hasn't had a major impact on me, doesn't mean that it hasn't had an impact on someone else in the team. So I think it's really important that within teams we develop a culture where it's okay to say that you would like to speak about it, or it's okay to ask somebody and talk to them about it. Showing care to somebody and giving them the opportunity to talk makes a huge difference. And I think it's really important that that sort of information gets passed to as many people in teams as possible. The reactions you will have are normal. They are things that will just happen, and if you know that, then you'll be able to understand it and help yourself. They can be fixed and they will go away in all but the most extreme circumstances, and there is professional help for that. Raise your own awareness, realise they're normal, and speak to people.